Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So this is an update video on the grey construction sand that I had made a video on probably couple of weeks back. This is an update video. I had put in some cuttings which were not rooted in this soil, so I wanted to check what is the update and share it with you guys as well. Now they are slightly dehydrated because I haven't watered them because they did not have roots. So today I'm going to be checking how many of them have roots, and according to that we will go ahead and water them. If they are not rooted, then I will not go ahead and water it. So let's quickly check. This will also give us an idea how good this soil media is for growing succulents. Now it is going to work out. If it's going to work out really well for cuttings, then definitely it is going to work out really well for our other succulents which already have roots. When a succulent does not have a root and we are still using this soil, we will get to know what is the progress with the roots. So I'm going to check one by one if there are any roots that are present or not. So the first one, now these are my Graptoveria marpins that I had done a cutting. I will put the link of this video wherein I was preparing the soil mix in the description below. You can check it out. So you can see the first one does have roots. Very small, but it's doing absolutely fine. The roots are looking absolutely healthy. There is one to two roots, but that's more than enough for us to start watering it. So the first one has the root. Let me check this one. Okay, even this one is starting to root. So I think probably everyone is starting to root, and there is a small bug which we will just kill it off. Okay, it's a scale insect. So this is how it tends to look like. The succulents are rooting. Another one that is just holding on to the soil, you can see. Let me clear the roots because I don't want to damage the root. The roots are going to be really small, but you can see it's clinging to the soil mix, so it means that it is doing quite well. Let me check you can see this one also has rooted. It has a lot of soil that is attached to the root. So even this one has rooted. You can see that the soil is clinging to the roots. Now I'm not going to clean that soil because the roots are very fragile. If I'm going to clean that sand out of this, it will damage the roots. The roots will break, so I'm going to leave it as it is. We have another one. Okay, so this one is not rooted yet, so I'm not going to water it. I'm going to keep it away from this arrangement. And we have another one that is also rooted. So we have most of them that have rooted. This one is also not rooted. This one is just putting out a very tiny little root over here. This one is putting a very tiny little root over here. Or probably this one is, I'm just going to keep it aside because I think it's not rooted yet. But the rest of them, they have all rooted, so I'm going to put them back into the soil. You can see the soil is still very loose and very porous. I'm really happy with this soil mix. It looks really good. So I'm going to add them quickly into this arrangement back, and I'm going to do, so this is going to be the first watering after a really long time. They are quite dehydrated, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a little bit of bottom watering for them, and then I'm going to let them rest. So far all of these guys have put up the roots. Only these three have not rooted. So I'm going to keep these guys aside. I'm going to let them air root, and I'm going to quickly do a watering for these guys. Now whenever you're doing a watering, initial watering, go for bottom watering. The best part about bottom watering, we spoke about the pros and cons, but another thing about bottom watering is because the water starts coming in from beneath, it tends to promote root growth much faster compared to top watering. Especially for cuttings, it tends to work out really well because over here our main priority is for the succulent to grow the roots. So when you tend to do bottom watering, it tends to promote a lot of root growth because the roots know that the water is coming from beneath, so they start going towards the lower portion and has a little faster growth compared to top watering. So I'm quickly going to do a little bit of bottom watering and talk about a little bit more about this soil. So we have our tray of water ready, which is filled with water. We're just going to place it into this and let it get bottom watered. Now we will also get to know how well this soil is, whether it tends to work out really well for bottom watering, because I'm very sure that it's going to work out really well for top watering, because it's very loose and porous, as you have seen when I was moving the soil. It's very loose and porous. I really loved that it is giving a good amount of growth. This is a best example to work with, because when you do not have roots and when you plant a succulent in the soil, you will be able to see how well the roots are getting adjusted, because there's so much of air pockets and there is so much of air circulation within the soil, because it's very granular, and that's why you can see there is a good growth of roots. Usually this is the reason why we always say that you need to have a loose porous soil. This is one of the reasons, because the roots are very delicate, they are very fine, and they need a little bit of space to just move around. In compact soil it becomes very difficult for the roots to develop, because it tends to suffocate the roots. But when you have a loose and porous soil like this, it becomes much easy for the roots to grow. So as you can see, bottom watering was also very simple. The entire soil is almost wet, only this portion is left, and it is going to get bottom watered. So it works out really well for bottom watering as well. It absorbs the water, and then it does not retain the moisture for a very long time, because it is pieces of sand. We also have a little bit of garden soil, so that tends to keep that little moisture so that the plant can have a quick drink. If you're only going to use this sand, then this soil will dry, then the sand will dry faster. So you need to add a little bit of soil that is going to hold on if there are any nutrients in the soil, that is going to provide it to the succulent. Apart from that, it is going to retain slight moisture, which is enough for the succulent to grow. Because if you're going to use only the grey sand, then grey sand does not have any nutritional value. We do need nutrition, but at a very minimum rate inside the soil. So this tends to work out really well, the combination of grey sand and garden soil. So I'm pretty much done with the bottom watering. You can see all the excess water will come out. You can see all of the soil, the upper layer of the soil is wet. Now all we have to do is just keep it aside and let all the excess water drain out. So this bottom watering, I'm going to do it a couple of times until I feel that the roots are good enough, because right now you can see the roots are very small. So the succulent is not very stable. Only when the roots develop much more stronger, the succulent will be very stiff in the soil. Right now the succulent is, I wouldn't say very loose, but it's slightly loose. But as and when the roots tend to develop much stronger, then the succulent becomes more stable and stiff in the soil. So after maybe couple of maybe 3 or 4 times of bottom watering, and I think the roots should be good enough to make the succulent stiff in the soil. But as of now, it's doing quite well. Probably in a few days time, all the succulent leaves will open up, because we have started watering. It was not watered for a really long time because we were waiting for the roots to appear. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.